Good evening, everyone. Bezrat Hashem. Today's class dedicated Leilui Nishmat, my great grandmother, Sarah Bat Mazal, Ruach Hashem Tenachena Began Eden, also Avraham ben Yeshua and Moshe Chai ben Binha. Today we're gonna talk about sleeping. We're gonna have a good sleep this night, I hope, after this lecture. The reason I chose this topic is because I get a lot of questions regarding sleeping in the last few months. Maybe because of the virus, people doesn't sleep well, or they sleep in the wrong times. But I think it's a very, very important topic to talk about, as the Torah and the Kabbalah discuss this as one of the main and most important things in life. Rambam says that our life is divided to three hours. We should be three parts. 8 hours we should spend on learning, 8 hours we spend on work and other things, and 8 hours we spend on sleeping. So this is 1/3 of our life we sleep. So if a person lived 90 years, 30 years you are sleeping. That's a lot of our life, and that's why I think we should speak a little bit about this. Today we're going to discuss how to sleep properly, what are the good times, what are the not good times to sleep. Maybe we're going to discuss sleeping during the day, is that helpful or not. Maybe Netilat Yadayim, when we should do Netilat Yadayim, should not do. Why do we do Netilat Yadayim when we sleep at night? Bezrat Hashem, we're going to discuss what to do when we don't fall asleep, and why is that happening to certain people, that they can't fall asleep easily. What happens when we sleep too much? What's the proper way to sleep? On what side? On the left side, on the right side, on the back, on the stomach? What's the right way of sleeping according to Torah and Kabbalah? And a lot of other things, Bezrat Hashem. So let's start B'siyata Dishmaya. First of all, we have to know that sleeping was something that created after life. It means after HaKadosh Baruch Hu already created Adam and Chava, they didn't need to sleep. That's what the Midrash say. They were not sleeping. They were awake for 24 hours, basically. Now, to understand what happened there in Gan Eden with Adam and Chava, it's always spiritual. They were not in the physical world that we know today. They fell into this world, the physical world, after the sin. But before that, everything was a little bit different. We're not going to get into it. We need a whole lecture about that, or a few lectures. But Adam and Chava, in the beginning, before the sin, they didn't need to sleep. As according to the Midrash, even after the sin, the sleeping was not so necessary. And the Midrash say it in a very very interesting way. As we know, Midrashim, we don't understand them literally, because sometimes they talk in a mashal and as a story. But the Midrash says that Adam v'Chava, after the sin, because the land was cursed, the earth was cursed, and now things were growing very slow. Before the sin, anything you plant in the ground right away grows in the same day. And after the sin, it's because the earth got cursed by God. Now it was slow. And then the earth was saying, there's so many people, more and more people in the world, and they need the fruits of the land. And because they don't sleep, so they eat during the day and during the night. And I don't have enough fruits to give the people. The land was not producing enough fruits and vegetables for the people because they didn't sleep. So God kind of said to the land, don't worry, you're going to give them the food during the day, I'm going to give them the food during the night. And from then, sleeping came to the world. HaKadosh Baruch Hu said that we need to get spiritual food and we need to get a physical food. Spiritual food is a sleep. The physical food is the vegetables and the fruits of the ground, of the land. So that's basically the first midrash we see that talking about sleeping. Now, from here we already understand the concept of sleeping. So, Akadosh Baruch Hu wants us to connect to the spiritual world because we are spiritual. And our spirit has to renew every day. We have to get our powers. That's why people that are, they say that they are ayafim, tired. People that are tired all the time, it's not because the body is tired. And that's something that a lot of people, they get it wrong. They think, oh, I'm tired, I worked so much today, so I'm tired. The body, if the body is tired, it's enough for the body to rest for 20 minutes. This is according to science. It's enough for the body to rest for 20 minutes. And after 20 minutes of rest, even not asleep, it's okay. You don't need to. The body has power again, but the soul is the one that needs the sleep. The soul is tired. Why is the soul tired? Because when the world was created, Hakadosh Baruch Hu created the spiritual world and the physical world, the soul and the body, and the soul. The more the soul gets into the body and does physical things. So when a person is very connected to the physical world in Kabbalah calls the world of death. Because in the physical world, everything has an end. It's going to die at the end. So that's the world of death. The spiritual world called the world of life. Yeah, HaKadosh Baruch Hu is alive, is giving life to everyone, and is an infinite, is going to live forever. Our soul, the more the soul is in this world, in the body, in the physical life, physical world, the soul gets tired. The soul wants to get its food, its spirituality. And that's why people get tired. Why they get tired when they work so much? Because the soul cannot handle too much materialism, basically. So that's why, for example, people that are very spiritual, they don't need to sleep so much. We can see it on the rabbis, even in our generation. Rabbi Milubavitch was sleeping for 2 or 3 hours a night. Rabbi Ovadia Yosef, the same, 2 or 3 hours every night for years. And they were not sleeping during the day. Yeah, they were very strong. And they were very energetic, and we know that to study Torah, to use the brain, takes a lot more energy than using the body. This is also science. When people, we can see it. When people use the brain, they learn mathematics, they go to learn, and all day they are thinking. They get more energy out than when you physically work. So they were studying for all day, for 16 hours, sometimes 20 hours just of studying, and they were sleeping only for 2 hours a night or 3 hours a night, and they had that energy, they had that power. So how come they had this? Because again, they were very spiritual. What we get when we sleep, they could get it when they are awake. So the more a person learns Torah, the more a person is relaxed and calm and balanced in his spiritual life, he will be less tired. That's why the word tired in the Torah, it says first time the word tired where? In Esav. Esav and Yaakov. Esav, the brother of Yaakov, which was a big sinner. It says that Esav came from the field and he was very tired. Yeah, at the moment that he ate the soup, the lentil soup, and he sold his firstborn, Bechorah. So he was tired. He was the first person to be tired, because HaKadosh Baruch Hu mentioned to us in the Torah that a person gets tired because he's very connected to the materialism, to this world. The more sins a person do, the more tired he gets. He doesn't have power. Yeah. And if we're going to go even a little bit deeper, Baal HaSulam explains it, and he says the difference between a tzaddik and rasha, between a sinner and a righteous person, is that a righteous person, he wants to give. He has the desire to give all the time. Anything he gets, he wants to give. Yeah, ratzon lekabel, a will to give. And the rasha, the sinner, he always wants to get to himself. רצון לקבל, רצון של עצמו. רשע is רצון של עצמו. ריש, שין, עין is rasha, is a sinner. He wants always to get for his own comfort and his own pleasure. So when a person, all his life is built on the goal to give all the time, in any place in life, this person called a righteous person, and he will be less tired. The people that always think about themselves, how other people can do something for me, he always thinks on himself. Those people are gonna be more tired. You can look at, I think a good example is mothers. There's certain mothers that they work so hard all the time in the house, doing laundry, helping the kids, homework here, there, and they spend so much energy, and they're not tired. They still have, they can, a lot of times you see that those mothers that they like to give, they like doing all those things, they like to this is your goal in life, to give to others. They don't get tired very fast. But those people that sit at home and they don't do nothing, they just think about themselves, how they can eat another burger, or how can other people do something for him, and he's so lazy to come out to come to get a glass of water. He asks his son to do that for him. Those people get more tired. Why? Because they have a lot of ratzon shel atzmo, the desire, the will to take. And that's the opposite of what the soul wants. The soul wants to give, the body wants to take. And the more you take, the more tired you are, because you are more physical. If you're more physical, you get more spirituality. The less spirituality you have inside, the less soul you have, because you're very physical, the more you're tired, you don't have chayut, you don't have a lot of energy. So that's the concept in general. Now I want to talk a little bit about the goal. Why do we sleep? Now there's some people that you can realize their level according to their desire to sleep. So there's some people, all what they want in life is to sleep. This is their pleasure. There's some people like this that he says, okay, I just want the free time to get some sleep. They enjoy sleeping. And there's some people that they don't want to sleep. Sleep for them, it's a waste of time. You can see if you are in this section or that section, if you are in what level you are located spiritually. People that they always want to be awake, they want to do more things. It means life is interesting for them. It means they want to live. It's happy people, and they don't want to sleep, because they don't see sleeping as they see it as a waste of time. Other people they see sleeping as a goal of life. Now, sleep in the Torah called 1 chelke 60 mimita. It's 1 out of 60 from death. So sleeping, it's not, you're not dead, you sleep. You're not here, your soul is not here. A big part of your soul is not here. That's why it's called in Torah that you taste a taste of death when you sleep. So a sleep has 1 out of 60 of death. So sleeping, that's basically the power of death. That's why people that their goal is to sleep, that's what they always want. Their life is so boring, their life is so bad, so they just want to go to sleep. That means they are in the wrong direction. That means something in your life is not right, because your goal should be to live and to not, chas v'shalom, die, to not sleep, which is a little bit of death. The sleeping has to be a tool to live better. That's the normal way. That's how we should think. And people that fell into depression and anxiety and other things, we see they want to sleep more. Why they want to sleep more? Because they don't see a purpose in life. They don't see something interesting in life. And when you realize, chas v'shalom, that this happens to you, you have right away to change everything and say, 1 second, sleeping, it's not a goal. Sleeping, it's a tool to wake up and then do something in life. So that's one very important thing. Sleeping, there's a few halachot, few laws, how to sleep properly. We see it in different books. So one of the places we're gonna see the Torah discuss, the Torah Sheba'al Peh, the oral Torah discuss sleeping habits. It's the Rambam, Rabbi Moshe ben Maimon, the big doctor, which was even a bigger rabbi than a doctor, but he was also a big doctor of all the generations, as we know until today. All the doctors they don't understand how come the Rambam 800 years ago knew all those secrets that they just revealed not long ago. So the Rambam says that the best sleep that a person can have is in the first part of night. The night has two parts, after midnight and before midnight. The sleep that we sleep in the first part of night has more power, has a better quality, and it's better also for the health. I'm talking about physical health and also for spiritual health. The Kabbalistic reason for that is because the first part of night, it's called the time of dinim, the time of judgments. There's a lot of judgments in the world. There's more impurity in the world in that part, so that's why it's better to sleep at that time. And if you sleep at that time, the sleep is very deep, and the deep sleep gives you a lot of power when you wake up. That's why people in our days, the world flipped. Back in the days, 100 years ago, there was no lights that we have today, light bulbs. So there was no electricity. So people, when the sun set, after 1 hour after sunset, they used to go to sleep. They woke up very early in the morning. In our days, it's a little bit different. But for those people, especially people that feel that they are tired and they don't have enough of a sleep, it's better to change the habits to sleep at least 1 hour, from the first part of the night. So if midnight according to Judaism changes all the time, is depending if it's summer or winter. For example, now it's around 1 o'clock at night. It's midnight. So if you go to sleep before, of course it's better. If you go to sleep at 10, so you gain 3 hours of a very deep sleep. And I know that some rabbis and some doctors even say that sometimes the sleep, 1 hour of a sleep in the first part of night can be equal to 2 hours of sleep in the second part of night. That's why it gives a lot of power, and it's very, very healthy. Also according to Kabbalah and also according to the physical health, to sleep in the first part of night. Now, when it comes to the way how we sleep, the poskim, the rabbis, brings down different interesting ways of sleeping. First of all, it says in the holy books, the Rambam also says that we should sleep on the left side. That's the best for our health. And he explains it according to medicine. He says that we have the liver and we have the stomach. Yeah, the stomach, where all the food is digested, is on the left side of the stomach, and the liver is located on the right side. So when a person sleeps on the left side, what happens is the liver is lean on the stomach and warms it, and when the stomach is warm and hot, is digest the food better. So that's why it's good according to it's very healthy according to the Rambam to sleep on the left side. And he says at least for the first half of the night, sleep on the left side. It's more healthy. The food is going to digest faster and better. And as we know in natural medicine, that the digestion of the food is the most important component in our health. If the food is digested properly and takes away all the negative, takes in all the positive things from the food, the vitamins and the other stuff, so a person will be healthy all his life. That's why it's very important the way how we sleep according to the doctors, to the Rambam. Now, according to Kabbalah, there's another reason why it's good to sleep on the left side. This is brought down in the book Kaf HaChaim, Rabbi Yaakov Chaim Sofer, one of the great Kabbalists in the past generation. And he says that according to Kabbalah, every side of the person, the right side and the left side, they symbolize something. The left side of the person symbolizes the weak powers. The right side is always the strong powers, the kindness and the judgment. The left side is the judgment. That's why there's more negativity, there's more mezikim, bad spiritual energies located in the left side of our body. When we sleep on the left side of the body, we are kind of spiritually, by doing this motion, we are overcoming the judgments in our life, overcoming the negative powers, and especially at night that we need to overcome them because the negative powers are more strong during the night. That's a very it's very suggestion. It's a good suggestion that Kaf HaChaim says to sleep only on the left side. So we overcome the Yetzer Hara, we overcome the bad spirits, and therefore we will have an easier life spiritually. Less test. We're gonna have more power to overcome the evil inclination when we wake up in the morning after we sleep on the left side during the night. And he says the same as the Rambam, that the first half of the night till midnight is the most important time to sleep on the left side and not on the right side. After the midnight, there's less dinim, there's less judgments in the world. You can flip to any other side. Now, what he said is it's a suggestion. It's not a must, but it's good according to Kabbalah to do so. By the way, when on Pesach, when we lean on the left side, that's also because of that reason, overcoming on the very special day of Pesach, the evil inclination, the bad forces. That's why we lean on the left side and not on the right side. So this is according to the Rambam and Kabbalah. It's better to sleep on the left side. It's more healthy, and also it's good because of that, of the spiritual reason. For men, there's more restriction in sleeping than women. Women basically can sleep in any mood that she wants. A lady can sleep on the right side, on the left side, on the back, on the stomach. Doesn't matter the way she sleeps. For the men, there is some restrictions, and there is also a reason for that, for sure. And the halakha, the Shulchan Aruch says that man has to sleep only on the sides. It's either on the left side or the right side, because when they sleep on the back, it can cause some problems, a certain sin that can be in certain dreams during the night that I mentioned not have. That's why we should sleep either on the left side or on the right side according to halacha, as well as sleeping on the bed. When we sleep on the bed or on the floor, there's also a difference. Some people, they like to sleep on the floor. We know that the floor has a certain impurity. The lower you go spiritually and physically, there's certain negative energy, especially if someone sleeps on the land, on the earth. If you go camping or something like that, according to Kabbalah, it's not good to touch the earth with our body. It's always good to have a cloth or something in between, because as we know, the earth got 9 curses from God and it has a certain impurity. That's why we try to sleep on a mattress, on something that is high, unless on Tisha B'Av. Sometimes we have a custom on Tisha B'Av to feel a little bit of the sadness for the destruction of the temple. So some people sleep on the floor, they put something on the floor and they sleep on that. But it's good to sleep on a mattress, so you feel comfortable and you're a little bit higher than the floor height. Now, a lot of people, they have dreams, bad dreams at night, and ask me what to do, why is that happening? And so we said that night, it's a time of judgment, and in a time of judgment, there's no negative powers around, and sometimes they cannot harm us, but they can do something with our dreams. When a person doesn't have enough spiritual protection, an aura that protects him, sometimes those negative forces can cause different nightmares. Can be because a person doesn't have a good mezuzah in his house. That sometimes cause that. So when we have a good mezuzah, it's usually less. You still can have nightmares with a good mezuzah, but less nightmares because the mezuzah has a certain protection. Another thing is people that they go to sleep without clothes. Let's say it's very hot and they don't wear a pajama. For people that usually have nightmares, that's not a good idea. It's good to put a pajama because every clothes that we put, we did a whole lecture on clothing. If you want, you can see it, I think, online. But every clothes we wear has a certain energy aura on it. So the more clothes we have, the more aura we have. The more aura you have, the more spiritual protection you have. Less nightmares because they cannot do nothing to you. You're more protected. So that's why some people that they sleep without clothes, they could have more nightmares than people that do wear pajamas. So if you realize that, put a pajama and you will feel the change. Another thing is Kriyat Shema al Hamita. When we read the Shema Israel, it says in the holy books that this is one of the most important prayers we should recite every day for ladies and for men, because it's Shlomo Melech says it's like a cheref pipiot, it's like a sword in front of those negative powers. So Kriyat Shema al Hamita, when we do the Kriyat Shema before we go to sleep, we should make sure that we say it properly, word by word, as much intention that we can will be more effective. And I know lots of stories that people that come to me with problems of nightmares, and I always tell them first of all, do Kriyat Shema al Hamita properly. After they start that, they don't come back. Usually it helps. Only few people, it doesn't help them so much. It helps them only a little bit. And the Gemara says in Masechet Brachot that in this case, you should use other things. For example, one of the things you can do is, it sounds very weird, but that's help to remember, to imagine the day that Chaz v'Shalom you're gonna pass away. Yeah, the Gemara says if you see that you have a Yetzer Hara, a very big evil inclination during the night, or if you have nightmares during the night, so when you wake up from that nightmare, imagine the day that you're gonna finish life here and go to Olam Haba. It's a little bit scary to imagine that, but by doing this, all those negative forces go away. They cannot harm your dreams, and that's help. And also learning Torah before going to sleep is also very powerful. Also for people that wanna fall asleep very fast, I always tell them, read a Torah book. Why? Because when you read another book, you can just read it the whole night and you don't fall asleep. But when you read a Torah book, the Yetzer Hara doesn't want you to read Torah, so he puts you to sleep. That's sometimes it works. A lot of times it works because the Yetzer Hara doesn't want you to, the evil inclination doesn't want you to learn Torah. So the more Torah you learn, they would try different things. So one of them is to put you to sleep. And I saw that working a lot of times as well for people that want to go to sleep. Maybe I'll give some advices to fall asleep easier, because some people have insomnia and other sleep disorders. It's very hard for them to fall asleep. There's certain things spiritually that we can do to help us to have a better sleep. As we said, it's very, very important to sleep. The Rambam says 8 hours of sleep, that's the best. More than 8 hours, it's not good. People that sleep too much, it makes them even more, because if they sleep too much, they make the sleep already very, very materialistic thing. They like to sleep. And because they become more materialistic, they more tired. So you see, more than 8 hours, if you sleep, you become more tired than you slept 8 hours. And less than 8 hours, usually it's not good for normal people, but people that do learn Torah and they have a lot of spirituality in their life, they can sleep less than 8 hours and they're still gonna be fine. Physically and spiritually. Why? Because as we said in the beginning, by learning Torah, praying properly, being very spiritual, talk to Hashem, connect to God very good, your soul becomes bigger and bigger, you're less materialistic, you're more spiritual, you get more powers, you need a less of sleep. But for those who have problems to fall asleep, there's few things we can do spiritually. First of all, Rabbi Nachman from Breslev, he has a book called Sefer Amidot, and he writes down there that when we want to fall asleep, we should think about the waves of the sea. Yeah, just imagine to yourself, you don't fall asleep. Rabbi Nachman says, imagine to yourself you are in the you are in the beach, you're looking in the sea, and you imagine every wave goes up and goes down, goes up and goes down, and by imagining that, it will help you to fall asleep. I don't know why, he doesn't write the reason there, but he says this is something that works. Yeah, some people say you should count ships or something like that. That doesn't help. Rabbi Nachman says count waves of the sea. That helps somehow to relax the body and put you in a mood of sleep. Another thing we can do is what's written in Kabbalah books regarding the arava. Arava is, I'm not sure how to say arava, but you know those four things that we use on Sukkot. Yeah, we have the etrog, the hadas, which is myrtle, we have the lulav, and the arava. It looks like lips. I forgot the English word for that, but I'm sure that you all understand what I'm talking about. The aravot that we do on Hoshana Rabbah, we take 5 aravot and then we hit them on the ground, and we do something very interesting with this. If you take those aravot and you put them under the pillow, that helps to fall asleep. For those people that have sleep disorders, they can fall asleep easily. It says a certain energy we can use for those aravot for different things. For example, arava, it's gimatria zera. Zera, it's a seed. Yes, so that's why people that wanna, like a couple that wanna get pregnant, if they drink the water, if you take this arava that you used on Sukkot, very important, the arava that we use on Sukkot, you should keep it. I always keep it every year, and you put it in a pot with water. You cook it, and you take the water, after it gets cold, and drink it in the day of the mikveh. Yeah, the man, the husband, and the wife, they should drink a cup of it. They can put sugar if they want, and that helps. They should do it every time they are together. That's very, very helpful and spiritually opens of blessing to get pregnant. So arava you can use for sleeping as well. Also, there's something called kurkum. Yeah, kurkum, it's a spice. Not sure the way how you say it in English. If someone can write it on the chat, I will be grateful so I can say it to everyone. Yeah, the kurkum, it's a spice which is it's an orange spice. We use it a lot for cooking. If you take a little bit of a small bag of it, turmeric, could be that it's the turmeric. I'm not sure, but I'm gonna let you know later. You can find it on Google and let me know the exact one. So the kurkum, if you put it under the pillow, put a bag, and put it in the bag and just put it under the pillow. It says that it's good for sleeping. So that can help to have a good sleep, as well as Rabbi Mordechai Sharabi, one of the big Kabbalists in the last generation. He said that eating tomato before bed is very good. It somehow does that, has certain vitamins or whatever that makes you sleepy and fell asleep easier. So you can try that as well. Rabbi Mordechai Sharabi was a big Kabbalist. I think he was the head of the Kabbalists in Israel in the last generation. So he says tomato is very good for that. And Also, Rav Mazuz, he says, if you want to, Rav Mazuz says, if you want to fall asleep, you should drink milk. Yeah, you should drink milk before you go to sleep. So take a cup of milk if you make it hot. And my father told me if you put honey in it, it's even better. Yeah, that's from my father. It's gonna make you sleepy. And actually, we see that in the Torah. It says in the Torah that that Yael, one of the ladies that saved the Jewish nation from one of the generals of Plishtim, his name was Sisra. He wanted to kill all the Jewish nation, and he was running away. And she told him, "Come home. I'll help you." And he came to her house, and she gave him. It says she gave him milk to drink because she wanted him to fall asleep. Now the milk they used back then was a milk, yeah. Today the milk is not a milk, it's half water, but still it's a little bit of a milk, yeah. So we can use that if we warm it up and we drink it before bed, especially with honey. That can help a person to fall asleep more easy. Now, we spoke a little bit about dreams. I want to go back to that because there's another thing that a lot of people ask me. There's a lot of kids that they have nightmares, they have bad dreams, and the parents suffer, the kids suffer, and they ask what to do, how can we protect them from having those nightmares. So the Ben Ish Chai says that one of the things we should be very careful in general, but this can cause nightmares, especially for kids, is to do netilat yadayim after we cut our nails. The nails has a very, very big spiritual power. It says that Adam HaRishon before the sin, his body was like a nail. So the leftovers of the level of Adam HaRishon before the sin, it's the nails that we have. So there's a lot of spiritual power and holiness in our nails. That's why when the nails grow, the negative power wants to suck energy from us. And they always, when the nails are a little bit long, they're going to go there. I think we did a lecture in English on nails as well. And so you can find more information there. But that's why we cut the nails. It's not good to grow nails. But when we cut the nails, right away, because on the nails there's a lot of spirituality, a lot of holiness, the negative powers goes there. That's why if a lady that she's pregnant step on a nail on the floor, chas v'shalom, she can lose her baby. That's very dangerous. That's why we should throw the nails right away to the sink. That nobody chas v'shalom should step on them. But right after we cut our nails, because of those negative powers that comes, they can chas v'shalom harm the person if he doesn't do netilat yadayim, a Jewish person. So he has to do netilat yadayim. The Gemara in Masechet Pesachim says that that's one of the reasons people get anxiety. Yeah, the phobias, all those things that they don't know why do I have it? Why do I have those fears and I don't understand where they come from? Sometimes it's because the person, when he gets a haircut, he doesn't wash his hands, doesn't do netilat yadayim, or after he cut his nails, he doesn't do netilat yadayim. Those two things are very important to do netilat yadayim right after them. So especially for kids, you cut the kids' nails right away. Cut their nails and after that do netilat yadayim. So Bezrat Hashem, just 1 second. I think there is someone asking questions here in the chat. Okay, one moment. Oh. Okay. Okay, Bezrat Hashem, we'll continue, and then after the shiur, we're gonna answer some of your questions. Bezrat Hashem. Okay, so this is regarding. We spoke a little bit regarding the nightmares. So netilat yadayim, it's not just for kids, by the way, it's also for adults. Very important to do netilat yadayim. Now, another way to get a sleep, we know that there's a big power to Tehillim. When we read Tehillim, sorry. So there's different chapters in Tehillim, good for different things. There's certain chapters, it's good for anxiety. We know that there's the long Tehillim, the longest Tehillim, Kuf Yutet 119, is good for like health issues and problems in different organs in the body. But there is one, there's few Tehillim that it says in the holy books that are good to fall asleep. To stay awake. For those who wants to stay awake. I'm sorry. It's because sometimes, let's say you want to learn Torah, you want to do something and you're very tired. To drink Red Bull, it's not healthy. Coffee also not suggested because it can cause different effects after that, side effects. When you drink coffee, after a few hours, you're going to be very awake, but then you're going to be very tired. So, the best way you should do a spiritual way, you can read the Shir LaMa'alot. The Shir LaMa'alot, we have 15 small verses of Shir LaMa'alot. I think it's from Tehillim 120 till 134. Yeah, so it's 15 small ones. It's not gonna take long time because they're very small. From 120 to 134. If you read all of them, this is Gula. This is gives a big power to stay awake. So that's why for those who wants to stay till very late at night, that's one of the things they can do, and it's not gonna Chaz v'Shalom destroy anything in our health. It's 100% healthy. Okay. Bezrat Hashem, there's another thing that I wanted to talk to you about today. Is people ask me what happens to those who speak while they're dreaming, while they're sleeping. You know, some people they talk at the same time. So there's something in Kabbalah to do against that. So I didn't find nothing, only one thing in one of the books, and he said it sounds weird, but I assume it's working. I didn't try it, but they say if you take if a person talks a lot during when he's sleeping, when he's dreaming, and you want to stop it, you should put on him a teeth of a dog. Yeah, the dog teeth. I don't think it's very hard to get. I remember one time I had a lady that she had a lot of miscarriages. And it says in the holy books that to help that, she should wear a belt that is made from a snake skin. And then I said to myself, I want to help this lady, but when I'm going to get a snake skin? So I think our video guy, one of our video guys that helps us with the video, with the lectures, he said that you can order it on Amazon. I said, Amazon? I didn't know what's Amazon back then. So he told me that you can try, and there's a lot of things there. And he found, Baruch Hashem, snake skin, like for $16 or $17. And Baruch Hashem, this lady had a child. After that, we used it for other ladies. Baruch Hashem, they also, the miscarriage stopped. But the thing is that we have a way to get those stuff online sometimes. So also, I think maybe if someone needs that, he can maybe order it online, or if he has a dog, don't do Chaz v'Shalom, don't take his teeth. It's going to be very painful. But if a dog died or something like that, you can use the teeth of the dog, carry it on that person that talks while he's sleeping, and somehow spiritually that helps to him to stop talking. Also, people that are snoring, that's a big issue. People that are snoring, one of the natural things they can do is to eat a cooked garlic. Cooked garlic, according to the holy books, it's good for against snoring. So you can try that and see how it helps a person that is snoring, and to have a better sleep. Not just for himself, especially for the people that are around him. They should have also a good sleep. Rabbi Nachman says that when we sleep, it's very healthy for the brain. Why? Because the brain gets a lot of different things during the day. We get a lot of unnecessary information and feelings. And what the sleep does, it just makes us forget those things. And forgetting those things, it's very important for our functioning during the day. If we would remember all those negative thoughts that we had or experiences, that would be very bad. We would not function in the daily life. So Baruch Hashem, HaKadosh Baruch Hu gave us a sleep. The sleep makes this, puts down all those negative things, and we just forget about that. That's why if a person feels he feels not good, feels very negative, very sad, he should take a sleep, he should take a nap. That will help him to renew his system as well, according to Rabbi Nachman and Rabbi Pinchas from Koritz, one of the great Hasidim. He says that the sleep cancel judgments that we have on a person, and anger. So if a person is getting very, very angry, he wants to calm down, go to sleep, you will see you are a new person. Your soul gets a new energy from up there, and that really, really helps with anger, really helps to cancel all the judgments and all the nerves, the negative nerves that people feel. By sleeping, they can calm down and feel better after that. Now, the Baal Shem Tov, one of the great Hasidim, he says that sleeping is very good for our mitzvot, for our the mitzvot that we do, the commandments of the Torah that we fulfill. He says because when we do good things during the day, we do mitzvot, we do kindness, we put tefillin on, we give donations, all the mitzvot that we do. So it's in our bank account up there. It's in our bank account. And when you go to sleep, you basically bring all your mitzvot and you put it up in heaven. You put it in your kivyachol, in your bank account there, and you cannot lose it you cannot lose the good things you did after you sleep. So before you sleep, let's say you did a lot of mitzvot, you did good things. If you do like negative things, averot, sins, you can lose the merit of some of your good things that you did at the same day. But after you go to sleep, because all the good things you did at that day, it's kind of, you leave it up in Shamayim, in the safe, and you cannot ruin it with the sins you do after. So of course, sinning it's very bad, but you don't ruin the mitzvot, the good things that you did, because of the sleep. So the sleep is very, very important for our spiritual growth. According to the Baal Shem Tov. Also, Rabbi Nachman says that some people that cannot fall asleep, and they feel because they don't sleep enough, they feel very weak, and then they think that all what they need is to get a good sleep, and if they're gonna have a good sleep, so they're gonna have power during the day. That's right, but also some people, even though if you don't sleep a lot, Rabbi Nachman says, just by lying down in your bed, closing your eyes, without sleeping, you already get almost the same rest as you get when you sleep. Not of course the same, because the soul doesn't leave the body fully, but still you get a very, very, very high level of rest. That's why don't worry, even if you don't fall asleep, just by lying down in the bed, closing your eyes, relaxing your body, that's almost like a sleep. And that's why if during the day we feel a little bit tired, what we can do is just lie down, close our eyes, and try to rest and relax. Rabbi Nachman says it gives a lot of powers, and you're like a new person. So there's of course a lot of things to talk about, more about sleeping. I just want to before we go to the questions, I just want to summarize all the things that we said today. So Bezrat Hashem, sleeping is very, very important. The more we sleep, sometimes if we sleep more than 8 hours, can harm our health and our spiritual growth. That's why it's not good to sleep to make it your goal of life. Sleep should be a tool to live and to do things, to do our mission in life. The best sleep is 8 hours. It says in the pasuk, Yashanti az yanuach li. Az is Aleph Zayin. Aleph is 1, Zayin is 7, is 8 together. Rambam says, according to this pasuk, 8 hours, that's the best sleep. But people that are more spiritual and they want to go to sleep later and to sleep only 6 hours because they spend the time for learning Torah, for doing spiritual things, that's okay, because the spirituality gives the energy to the body, to the soul. And if this is the case, you can sleep less. But if you watch TV, and that's why you don't sleep enough, you don't sleep 8 hours, that's not good, not for your health, not for your spirit. As well as we said, all this gulot, all the ways to fall asleep or to stay awake, the Shir LaMa'alot, all the 15 Shir LaMa'alot if you want to stay awake. If you want to fall asleep, the arava, the kurkum, all those things that we said, gonna help us. And the most important thing, Kriyat Shema on the bed. Maybe we should say some halachot, because some people, they're very confused, because it's called Kriyat Shema ala mitah. Ala mitah means on the bed. So some people think that, okay, I have to do it when I sit on the bed. That's not what it means. It means, Kriyat Shema ala mitah means before I go to sleep, you have to recite that prayer of Kriyat Shema. And if you say it even an hour before you go to sleep, that's also fine. You don't have to say it right away before, because some people, they're already, they feel very sleepy and they say Kriyat Shema, and then the Kriyat Shema is with no intention, and half of the words you said, half of the words you fell asleep. And that's why you can basically, according to halacha, say the Kriyat Shema even an hour before and half an hour before. You don't have to be on the bed, you can do it in the living room. The most important is that you say the Kriyat Shema ala mitah on the bed. It says in the holy books that every time we recite Shema ala mitah, this prayer of Kriyat Shema on the bed, we kill 1,125 negative powers that were created from our sins, which is very, very important. Yeah, all those negative things that happens to us sometimes, all those unpleasant things that happens to us sometimes, it's because of those judgments that we create. You can cancel those judgments by saying Kriyat Shema on the bed with intention. This is for, again, men and women, the same in this mitzvah. And there's also the long version of Kriyat Shema ala mitah, which is very good for people to do, because it has some parts that we read and we say in the beginning, we say that we forgive to every person. We say that we forgive to any person that did something bad to us this day, and you do tshuva, you regret on whatever you did this day. You think with yourself, how can you be better the next day? This process that you do, if you read the full Kriyat Shema, or you can do it without reading the full Kriyat Shema, just doing by yourself. Think, what did I do wrong this day? How can I be better the day after? And try to forgive every person, doesn't matter what he did that day to you. When you do that, it says in the holy books, your soul goes to a very high place in during the sleep. Because when we sleep, our soul leaves to a world, to a place according to the spiritual level that we are in. So if a person does this process of tshuva, of regretting and thinking, how can I be a better person the next day, before he goes to sleep, and forgive everyone, doesn't matter what they did to him, HaKadosh Baruch Hu brings his soul to a very, very high place, to that extent that he can get even prophecies, even things about the future. He can get more power, more rest, more energy in the sleep. And that's how our rabbis, for example, they have a lot of books. It's called the books of dreams. Yeah, they had a lot of dreams because they were very holy. They went very high when they went to sleep, and they told him a lot of secrets on Torah, on life in general, and they wrote it in the book, and they got everything in the dream. How did they get it? Because the level you are in before you go to sleep, that's the level you're going to reach up there in the time when you sleep. The higher you are spiritually, the higher you go at the time of sleep, and the more power and energy and spirituality you get. So therefore the next day will be a lot better if we do that process before going to sleep.